Hello there, this is Krystal, and you're listening to the Krystal Archive podcast.
Hey everyone, this is Mr. Krystal, and I have a special guest with me tonight.
Hello everyone, this is Nick Zimich. You're listening to the Krystal Archive podcast.
This is episode number 18, recorded on Friday night, May 9th, 2008. So we're going to get started by going through the news since last episode, and we're going to try and tag team it. So I'll get started with the first one. Immediately after the podcast last time, I posted this year's April Fool's joke, where I faked information from Nintendo of America, stating that Krystal would be a cat in all future Star Fox games. And many of you were fooled, and we were successful. Did you see that one, Nick?
Indeed I did.
What did you think?
Well, just because of the date I knew it was. One thing I do remember from previous year was your Renamon archive, and that was quite the laugh, I must confess.
Yes, that was pretty cool to do, and we got the KLA in on that one. So, as I say in the post, April Fool's Day is coming up next year, and of course you should always be prepared to not believe anything you hear on April Fool's Day. So next year, be as prepared as you like. I'm going to do something that you will not expect. I've already got something planned, but we'll keep that secret for now. Alright, moving on. The next piece of news. Nick?
Okay, well, just to reinform everybody, the new address for the website is chrislewisaston.com. You changed servers, did you not?
No, actually the servers are the same. I just got a new address. I think it works better. Actually, we also changed in the process. I moved the Saurian Translator and the Star Fox Command All the Words website to the Krystal Archive domain. So now it's saurian.crystalarchive.com and sfc.crystalarchive.com. And while we're on the subject, Nick, we forgot to really tell people who you are. Some people may not know who you are. Tell us how we started off as far as projects.
Alright, well, for those of you that don't recognize my name at all, I do believe it was in the podcast episode 11 or 12 actually, where I was first mentioned. Pretty much it was I who helped Dwight build Star Fox Command All the Words.
Yes.
I believe he requested for help, and at the time I was playing through the game, like as I was listening to the podcast, playing through the game, and I was like, I can do that. And here we are some months later.
Yes, the reason why he's co-hosting with me is we received an email out of the blue about from someone who had emailed both of us, saying how much they appreciated the script of Star Fox Command and the work we put into it, and we almost never receive any email for that particular website, more so for the Krystal Archive and others. So that was that warmed our hearts, I would say, and I told Nick that I had gotten it. He said he got it too, and I invited him to co-host for this episode. That's how it happened.
Absolutely. Actually, I'm just gonna dig that up for 1 second here. I'm gonna have a special thanks. A big shout out to Mr. Jack Harper. Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll hear from you again.
You know, I don't remember. We might actually have his their letter in the question section, but if we don't, we can pull that up and read it, see what they said towards the end of the podcast. Okay, so the next thing that happened was we released the Nanogrrr model that was sent to me. This was Nanogrrr is a artist who works sometimes in 3D, and he, with an emulator, partially ripped models and textures from Star Fox Assault. And though he couldn't directly release the Star Fox Assault Krystal model because of some glitching, he used it as a base to recreate it, along with, I believe, the original textures. So that's available for free download on the website. A model that looks almost exactly like the Assault model.
Also released were a few new pictures from Feargal and her personal website. Pretty much he's included several concept arts from adventures. One of my favorites being the one with Krystal being grabbed by actually my favorite boss.
General Scales.
No, the
the other guy. Yeah.
Yes.
What is his name? Drat. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, it's not coming to me. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm gonna look that up real fast. And by the way, I believe Feargal is a guy.
Ooh, my apologies.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I think it's a European name. If you could, can you keep talking about the nature of those pictures while I try and find the boss's name?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I do believe there were 5 or 6 of them. I'm just gonna dig them up right now, take a look. Exactly how many there were. I must confess, though, I'm liking them. I've been a fan of the work, just regarding Krystal in general. And, oh, there they are. Alright, looks like there's several here. Like I mentioned, the one with Krystal being grabbed. There's one concept art of her staff and the spaceship you see in the last cinematic. And looks like a full shot of herself, Fox, and Tricky.
Right. And I found the boss's name. His name is Galdon. Galdon. Large creature with indigestion. And multiple spikes on his head.
It's definitely one of the more interesting boss battles, I must confess.
Yeah, you get eaten twice.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So yes, he released several pictures as part of his portfolio because he was a modeler on Star Fox Adventures, and once someone emailed him about the image we first talked about with Krystal being grabbed by the boss, he removed it from his site. So, but it's saved and it's on the Krystal archive for anyone who wants to see it. And so thanks to Malt or Malte for the images and the information. All right. So moving on to the next bit of news. So I posted, someone posted on the KLA about a possible making a Krystal Miis for the Nintendo Wii, and I just sat down and tried to make one real fast. I turned some eyelashes into ears and gave her gray hair because that was the closest thing I could get to blue. And it turned out okay, but kind of weird looking. And when I showed it to people, they said, you know, there's quite a few Krystal Miis on the check me out channel. So I went searching and I found like 15. So I made a quick video montage of all the Krystal ones I could find, and that's on YouTube and on the site, which I posted later that day. So, have you ever tried to make a me, Nick?
Unfortunately, I have not. No. Unfortunately, I just can't get my hands on a Wii around here.
Really?
Yeah, they're hard to come by still. I think I saw a used one go for about $250, but it looked in bad shape, so I didn't pick it up.
Wow.
Yeah. They're around, absolutely, but good luck, right?
Yeah. Well, I camped out for reserve, so I was pretty assured of one, but that was a long time ago. Well, good luck to you getting one eventually, and anyone else who doesn't have one yet. Alright, let's go on to the next news bit.
Alright. Well, good news.
Yeah, I guess I should probably say that one too. Alright, so I finished my semester. I had taken a break from the internet for a couple of months. I mean, I was still around, but I tried not to check my RSS and not to respond too much to mail and not to post too many things in the Krystal archive. And I didn't do any fan art searching in order to better my grades in school, because I was about to fail math for the second time, which I detailed a lot on the last episode. Well, I took my math test and I'd made a really good grade. I didn't ace it, although I was pretty close to it, I think. I made a B on it, and that gave me a B- in the class, so I passed it, and the rest of my classes, no problem. So I've made a post on the Krystal archive saying that my math final went fine. Here's my Brawl code, so we can battle online sometimes. And I've fought with a couple of you already, but I found that I just don't have that much time around, even still, to just get on and fight, maybe sometime on the weekends. And I also detailed my summer plans, which includes moving the Star Fox Online website to a new host and updating its content. I've got 2 summer classes this semester, Ray Tracing and Robotic Intelligence, which look to be pretty intensive. I'm going to try and get an early start on next year's game, and I'm going to teach myself a few things about Blender and some graphic engines. And I'm going to try and do a couple more things with the Krystal archive and my fan fiction and beat all my games. That's my plans for the summer. I'm not going to probably be able to do half of those things, but it's a optimistic outlook.
Yeah, it's a good goal to have.
Yeah.
You want to overwork yourself, but at the same time, do what you can, right?
Right. What are your summer plans, or
Well,
you're not even? Are you in? What are you doing? What is your situation?
Well, right now I'm taking a semester off. I never mentioned where I was from either. Oh, wow. Well, for those of you that really care, I'm located in Vancouver, BC, Canada, and I'm currently attending the theatre program at Nanogrrr College in Vancouver. So I'm taking a semester off for that, starting back in September.
So when you say you're taking a semester off, do you mean the summer semester?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Just getting
Oh
some,
yeah, a lot of people don't do actually take that off. So that's cool.
Yeah,
I thought you meant you were taking like a fall or spring semester off.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I can't afford it right now. If I'm not going to school, then I'm working, and too many hobbies at this exact point in time to cover all that, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, working hard.
All right.
Alright, moving on. Okay, well, on GameFAQs, a user named /234 requested that Pat Cashman, the announcer voice in Brawl, record a couple extra characters. And amongst a few of the more popular choices actually was Krystal. Would you mind playing a clip of that?
I would not at all. Here it goes.
Krystal!
Okay, so absolutely, it's hopefully a good goal for Smash Brothers 4.
Yes, hopefully they just won't even have to record that part next time because she'll be in there and he'll be the same announcer or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so the next thing that happened was I spent my first, let's see, the second half of my first week off from school, in between the spring and summer semesters, revamping the Saurian Translator again, and it only needed a slight update to the underlying translation code because I detected an error a couple months ago that I just hadn't gotten around to fixing. So I fixed that, and then I added a couple more things to give it a nice new visual style. So it's all bright and shiny now, and it has animated buttons that look like they're from the iPhone, and it actually is smaller in terms of size and amount to download than the previous version. But some people were having issues. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure exactly why. Maybe I can get that fixed sometime soon, but yeah. Oh, and one other thing about the Saurian Translator I don't think I've mentioned before. When I was interviewing Alesia Glidewell, and I don't remember if this got into the interview before it was cut off the first time, but she was very interested in the Saurian language. She thought it was really cool, and she offered at some point, probably in the far future, to lend her voice if I ever want to add the option for it to automatically generate what these words sound like. So you write something in and you push a button and it would give you back an MP3 file or something that was processed from voice clips of her voice. So, but I don't know the first thing about that technology or how to implement it. So that's probably a long way off. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, moving on, I guess. There are several new fan films put up. I myself haven't had a chance to go through all of them, but my favorite one, actually it's on the main page right now, is by Zintech, and it's titled Star Fox Blue. I must say, quality work.
I like that one.
I'm really liking it, yes.
The Star Fox Crystal Blue one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did you look at any of the Japanese meme ones?
Indeed I did.
And what is your opinion on those?
Well, first I laughed, then I was somewhat confused.
Well, that's better than being annoyed, I suppose.
Yeah, I try.
Well, I know that a lot of our members took issue with memes because they just don't like them. And so I'm just going to have to apologize, but I'm going to still post them as I see them, as long as they're new, but for the sake of completeness. Oh, and I also found out more recently that the Starwolf Kappa Karinha song meme is not actually Japanese, or if it is Japanese, it was actually posted in America before it was posted in Japan, I believe. So it's not technically a Japanese meme, but a meme none the difference. Still, whatever.
No worries.
Sorry.
All right, moving on. Well, aside from the fan films, there was also posted another interview with Alesia regarding Krystal. You have the plan for the near future, right?
Oh, well, actually that's referring to a separate interview. What happened was, before I managed to actually interview her, even the first time, someone had contacted her already. Interview her audio-wise. This was after I had interviewed her for the site, but before I had done the audio interview. Someone else contacted her and asked her a few Krystal-related questions, and this was done, I believe, by one of the readers of the site. So, because someone in the comments said thanks for the publicity, So, It just covers some of the same things, and there's a couple other questions that we didn't cover, but it's just another interview with Alesia about Krystal, and for the sake of completeness, I included that too. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, the last bit of news, other than, a generous smattering of Krystal-related fan films and an update to the Saurian translation video, the Sauria conversations video, I went through the remaining parts of the fan art, and as I said last time, I have some assistants who go by Star Fox Runner and Absoludicrous91, and they have assisted me over the past couple of weeks trying to get all the fan art reviewed for content, because I don't just see Krystal fan art, I see all fan art of all the people that I watch, and then I have to filter through that visually to find just the ones with Krystal in it, and it is a learned task that takes a good long while. So they did the first 5. They helped me with the first 5,000, and then in the time it took, there was another 5,000 to go through. So I did those last 5,000 myself in about a day, and then the next day I did a search for Krystal for artists that I don't already watch, finding new artists and their Krystal fan art, and that added almost double the amount of art, like 100 new ones, and a bunch of new artists to watch. So I was very tired and managed to compile the list of about 390 Krystal fan arts this time, the most massive fan art update ever, except for probably the first one. And I'm never going to let it get that far behind again.
You had to go through some 10,000 plus. That couldn't have been a small task to dig through.
Yeah, the 10,000 is just from the people I was watching, and then the additional couple thousand was from the searches, but those were easier because I was searching for the word Krystal, so most of them were Krystal related. But there's just a lot of click, 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 copy, paste, alt tab,
Yeah.
all this application switching. I've already added, of course, 2 new program Perl scripts that help me out. And I probably will add more now that I've had a problem with this one. But ultimately, the task of identifying whether Krystal is in a picture or not is a human one for now. So that job is still going to be for me. But that's the thing that takes the longest, and even that is fairly short. It's just the sheer number and the amount of time I left it unchecked was really a hassle. So I'm not going to let it get that far again. I'm going to try and make sure I do at least one fan art every 1,000, if not more, more frequently than that. So have you had a chance to look at any of the fan arts there?
Absolutely. I think that's partially how I found your site to begin with, quite the time ago. I was actually on Fur Affinity, and it was right as the search feature broke. I started looking for, actually, to quote exactly, I was looking for an archive of Krystal fan art. And I typed it in Google, and what do I find, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of convenient.
And then you've been with us ever since, listening to the podcast episodes and
been
hanging out.
Listener since podcast episode 2.
Episode 2? Oh. So you missed out on the first one, huh?
Unfortunately, yes.
Ah, well. Good thing we have those archived.
Yep. I made sure to make backups of all my podcasts now, just in case.
Right. In the event that I leave this world. Naysay it. So yeah, the in this update of Krystal fan art, there were quite a few interesting submissions. There were a good number of really clever ones and good ones that I was particularly like. There was also there was one with Krystal as a ceramic statue. That was probably the most unique fan art submission this time. And of course, there were quite a few fan arts that utilized Little Dragons and Charlie Fox's Krystal model. So they have her in all kinds of crazy poses and doing all kinds of crazy things, including a new artist who I believe started out on Fur Affinity, who goes by Daemon42. So those are cool. Alright, so check out those fan arts and check out the list. We've got 6 pages now. And we are moving on to new stuff.
Alright. Well, in current news, next weekend, May 16th to 18th, is Califur. And apparently, Cat the Leopardess will be dressing in her Krystal costume again. And you're just hoping you'll get some pictures and videos, right?
Right. I had talked with her a couple months ago, and she said that she was planning to go and planning to dress up as Krystal. Although this year the theme is steampunk, so she said she might modify the costume accordingly. However, if she does go, I'm sure she'll get me pictures and videos and all that. I've tried to talk to her more recently about it and get a confirmation more recently, but I've been unable to contact her lately, so I guess it'll be a nice surprise. In the next couple of days, you'll probably see pictures online before I'll be able to, I'll have a chance to post anything, because I, of course, will not be able to be heading down to California this weekend. I can't just take those trips on a whim. Alright, now a lot of you had been asking me many times during various podcasts when Brawl would be coming out for Europe. Well, I'm happy to announce, and you probably already know this, that during my time away from the internet, Brawl's European release date was announced to be June 27th, 2008. So just a bit longer, and you guys in Europe will be able to play and enjoy that which is good, Brawl.
Alright, E3 2008 is confirmed for July 11th to 13th, and is expected that the Star Fox Wii game will be announced. Looking forward to that, I must say.
Yes, heavily rumored, and it would only make sense since it's been a while since the last Star Fox game. And let's see, every game series except, I guess, F-Zero and Animal Crossing and Pikmin have been, and Star Fox have been announced for the Wii. So, oh, and also a while back I told you about some 60 titles that Nintendo was working on, 60 different projects. They've made indications that quite a few of them will be shown off for the first time at this year's E3. And more recently, people at IGN, I believe, have interviewed with Reggie, the president of Nintendo of America, and he basically said, "Come to E3. We've got a lot of surprises for you then." So, hopefully, we'll get to see a lot of good things, including Star Fox games, and Krystal included in those.
Do you plan to attend?
E3 this year is. Or E3 for this year and the past year has been invite only, and it's very difficult to get in. You have to be invited, and most of the time that only goes to high visibility companies and high level media people. I think Go Nintendo will probably be able to go because they're just the big darling video game blog out there, as well as of course IGN and probably oneup.com. I guess I would go. It would be an honor to go if someone invited me, although it'd be difficult to pay my way, but I think I could manage somehow. But I don't think I'll be going unless something weird happens. That's pretty much invite only. And I've never been invited to any of these things, so
You can always hope, right?
Yeah. Well, you can get the live streams pretty much pretty easily too, so that's almost as good as being there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see it as it happens and report on your computer to your blog as it happens without actually even being there. And also, I didn't list this in the notes, but early October 2008 is when E for All, which is the public game show, is going to start, and that looks like it's going to be a bigger show than E3 eventually, because as you know, E3 was turned into an invite-only event. E for All was created to provide the public with a similar experience. And although it was small last year, the first year it was working, it appears to be growing fast, and who knows, maybe video game retailers will begin making some of their announcements during that show. So E3 this summer, or in October, maybe something about Star Fox, hopefully. Alright, so the next news item, someone emailed me out of the blue saying that Alvin-Earthworm, one of the very first Krystal artists I really came to know by name, has decided to leave the internet for a couple years to focus on other things because he is so sick and tired of people emailing him about his Super Mario Bros. Z Flash videos and when the next one will come out. He said he still plans to work on it, but it's just unenjoyable for him for people to just keep emailing him about it. So basically he's going to delete all emails related to it if you try and send him something about it. And when I heard this, I feared that he was going to remove his art from DeviantArt, which has many pieces of Krystal art in it. So I emailed him and said, "Hey, I'm sorry about your decision, but I was wondering if you could leave up your art, since you don't have to maintain it." And he said, "Well, actually, I had already deleted it and brought it back because people wanted it, so I don't plan on removing it anytime soon." So that art is safe for now. You don't have to go and download the pictures before they're gone forever. Those are safe. Oh, and I'd like to wish him luck in whatever he's trying to accomplish and getting some rest from the internet, as it were, and hope that the situation resolves itself pretty soon.
Absolutely. Okay. The next bit of news. You were telling me about this before, but you received news of an Audition CD regarding Alesia's original recording.
Right.
You want to cover that?
Sure. So, when I was talking to Alesia, I asked her if she had access to her original voice recordings from Star Fox Assault, hopefully so I could post them on the website, because it's so hard to record Assault voice clips. And she told me that no, it's very difficult to get those things back once they've gone into a game, because it's just a tangled web of who to contact. However, she did have the original CD and some voice clips from her auditions as various characters for Nintendo games. So she gave me the auditions for Knuckle Joe and Zero Suit Samus for Brawl, and also her audition for the original character voice of Krystal in Assault. And I asked her special permission to play this clip, and I'll be posting on the website later. And the most interesting thing about this clip is the fact that some of the things that she says are not actually in the game, or were later changed to other things. So I'm going to go ahead and play that right now.
Alesia Glidewell. That's the way, Fox. You're looking good. But so many casualties. So many noble sacrifices. I'm sensing a distress call from the planet Sauria. A mission together at last. How lovely. Would you like to visit again? Just us two.
Alright, sorry. It's pronounced Alesia?
Yes.
Okay, my apologies. I'll try to remember that. But yeah, I must point out quite a bit of foreshadowing that last clip there.
Perhaps.
Just the two of them.
Yep.
We'll see.
On their honeymoon. I mean, not yet.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite line.
Absolutely.
All right. So the last thing we're gonna do, the last bit of new news is that I have recorded the second part of Alesia Glidewell's interview, and that went well. I had a bunch of voice clips and selected things for her to say, scripts. So she was able to do the voices for Krystal and Carmelita Fox with accurate quotes from the games, and she did quite a few of them, and really appreciative of that. So there's quite a bit of voice acting content in the second part. So now it's recorded, and as you heard at the beginning, she was nice enough to record for us an intro in Krystal's voice. So that's probably going to get a lot of playing on this podcast in the future. She also chose to do, on her own curiosity. She wanted to try out some various different voices for Krystal, and some of them are very special, I'll just say. Special is the right word for it. So you'll see what I mean when I get a chance to edit that. I plan to re-release the first part of the interview along with the second part as one whole special edition episode to come out after this episode, number 18. So we're going to call it something like 18.5 Special Edition Alesia Glidewell Interview, and have it all together in one place for those of you who want to have a listen. And I think you will. So that's it for new news. We got one more thing before we get to reader questions. Would you like to take care of that, Mr. Nick?
Absolutely. Alright, we got a special request. Someone is looking for a copy of the 1992 Star Fox comic. Hopefully in relatively good condition. And if anybody is interested in selling it, you can shoot him an email. His email is chrislewisaston@aol.com. And I expect you'll be putting a post on the show notes, right?
Oh, yes, it'll definitely be in the show notes. Now, the Star Fox comic from 1992 is referring to the one that was included with the 1992 editions of Nintendo Power.
Yes.
So they're kind of famous for being non-canon. And they include such characters as, I believe, Fox's mom, Vicky or Vixie.
I believe
Fox,
it was
Vicky.
Yes.
And his love interest, which was Farrah Phoenix.
Yes.
Yes. I have not actually read them. I have them in digital form. I just haven't gotten around to reading them.
Yeah, there's quite a few comics like that around. Actually, I do really like the one from Nintendo Power. It definitely covers a bit more background story about Andros especially.
Yeah. Have you read the comics for the parody comics of Adventures?
Indeed, I have.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, good. Actually, I think
Good jokes.
I've got them right here, actually.
Oh, you do?
Indeed, I do. Variation 1 and Variation 2.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, they were released in Japan, and they've been translated into English and German by various people, so some of them are better translations than others. But most of them are really funny. Like, for instance, they have Fox sees Krystal trapped in the crystal, and it plays out just like the scene in Star Fox Adventures. And then in the last frame, Fox whips out a camera and takes a picture, and Krystal gets really angry and says, "I will kill you," in her head. All right. Oh, those are my favorites. All right, so we're moving on to questions from readers.
Okay. Bona writes, or is it Bana?
Yeah, it's either way, I guess.
Okay, I'll do Bana. Alright, Bana writes, I don't get it. Why did Fox kick her out of the team? Is Marcus real, or an internet fable? It's been bothering me, and if he is real, then will the next Star Fox game include him? Krystal wouldn't be at home with Marcus? My name is Mike. I'm using my...
You can go ahead and say it.
Try
You
it
can go ahead
again?
and say it.
Okay, my name is Mike. I'm using my mom's account. Sorry.
Now,
And your response?
yeah, see, there, I should say, a lot of, we get a lot of mail here at the Crystal Archive, and some of them have less than perfect grammar, and it's kind of hard to read sometimes, so please forgive us if we slip up here and there. We have to try and interpret meaning on the fly sometimes, so usually not, but... Alright, so what I replied to Bona, that Fox kicked her out, as it says in the story, because he feared for her safety. And Marcus is the product of only one of 9 possible endings to Star Fox Command, none of which are known to be official, if any, so no one knows if he's real. He's real in the sense that he did happen in Command, but only under certain conditions, and it's not known whether that will be canon or not. That's up to the game creators of the next game or any other game that comes after Command. Anything, Nick?
Well, I am familiar with the ending, and honestly, I do not believe that would be the canon ending. Just because pretty much it stops the storyline for the Star Fox team. Like, it brings back Falco replacing Peppy, as is, and has one of Slippy's kids and Lucy Hare's daughter, I believe, with Marcus as the leader. But realistically, it's just not the same, right? We need the original Star Fox.
I think it might be interesting to see a new Star Fox team with as far as having a new leader, but yeah, I agree with you. That's probably not the canon ending. It's my personal belief that the most canon ending is the ending appropriately titled Ending Number 1, which is not the actual default ending when you play it the first time. And basically the ending ends the way it begins. You go back to being the regular Star Fox team, saving the galaxy. And it just basically goes back to the way it was. There are a couple endings where things go back to the way it was, but the fact that that is titled Ending Number 1 makes me think it's the most canon ending.
Well, like you said last podcast, as long as there's money to be made, they'll continue the series, right?
Just as they will do with the Smash series, yes.
Absolutely. I don't know. Honestly, if it were me, I would like to base it off of, I believe it's ending number 5, where Krystal joins Team Starwolf. I would
Really?
love to see how that plays out, yes.
You are a traitor, sir.
Actually, funny story for that one. If anybody feels up to it, they can check out my Furfinity website, just furfinity.net/user/crabthefrog, all one word. And I recently started writing, well, not recently, I recently revisited a fanfic I was writing. Don't mind the random plug here, Mr. Krystal.
Random plug accepted.
Absolutely. Well, pretty much what it was is counting down the days until the American release of Command. I started writing based on screenshots I'd seen from the Japanese version. My predictions about the storyline could possibly be. And surprisingly, I wasn't that far off. Now, my writing is subpar, I must confess, but it's a interesting read, that's for sure. And I did start a second chapter, which would be about 5 years after my first chapter, which would
So
be.
is this following the storyline of Krystal becoming cursed?
Yes.
Okay, that ending.
Yes. If you want to check it out, I would gladly appreciate any feedback. As usual, any literature work gets ignored. So.
What do you mean?
Well, I've noticed a pattern is especially on Furfinity. The artwork, absolutely. The music, absolutely. Literature and poetry, people just don't view it, and if they do, they don't comment on it.
Yeah, it is tougher because it's such a... it takes longer to do, whereas a picture is just a split second. You can read it, you can see it, the whole thing. Have you tried posting that fanfiction on fanfiction.net?
I have not, no.
I would recommend that.
I did post the first chapter on my DeviantArt account, actually. I recently duplicated all my stuff over onto DA. Got a couple favorites, actually, but still no comments.
Well, I would recommend you do go and post it on fanfiction, because that's what it's there for, and trust me, no matter how good or bad your fanfiction is, people will read it and will review it. Maybe not a lot of people, but they will read it. So that's been my experience anyway. So I'd say give it a try, just as some advice.
Sounds like a good idea. I might even do it after this podcast.
There you go. All right, the next question comes from Toby FS79. I am a new viewer of your site and just started listening to your podcast. And yes, I am a Krystal fan. Sorry, my F seems to be missing again. Fan. And he wrote, I'm a Krystal Ann. And then he said, I missed the F for some reason. Anyway, my question, if you'll actually read this... No, I will not actually read this. Next question. No, I'm just kidding. If they really do make a new Star Fox game for the Wii, do you think they will make a worse version on command? Not knocking it, I just don't like how you play it. Or will they bring the story farther? Thanks for hearing me out. I wrote that I think whatever the story is about, they'll probably make some improvements on the controls for the next game. I think the story will be toned down a bit, with less emphasis on with more emphasis on a single main storyline, but still allow branching within it, kind of like the Star Fox 64 story. Also, this new game may be another remake of the original, like Star Fox 64 was a remake of the original Star Fox game. So I think, new controls and better controls, and a story that is, instead of divisive, brings people together. Nick?
Yep. I agree, actually. Of the games available for GameCube, I do prefer the Star Fox 64, actually. Don't get me wrong, as fun as it is to run around on foot, beating everything you see with the staff, it's just not the same, right? I grew up on Star Fox for NES. That game was amazing for what it was. And I even now, I still have my vintage copy of Star Fox 64, new in box, still shrink wrapped.
Wow.
Right here. And I am not, I want to play it. I do have a open copy I do play occasionally, but it's just too perfect. You know what I mean?
Wow, man, that is dedication. I don't have a single shrink-wrapped video game. Although I do keep things in very good condition. I have quite a few shrink-wrapped non-game items that are game-related, but yeah.
You still have some Fox Fuel, do you not?
That's right. That's exactly right. I have my Fox Fuel, Jones Soda, and I have my Star Fox Adventures toilet paper, still wrapped. I have my Star Fox Adventures air freshener, still wrapped, and I've got my... what was the other thing? Oh, and it's a door hanger thing that says keep out, basically, but it's Star Fox Adventure themed. Yep, and I've got the box that it all came in, the most rare and hard to find Star Fox related item probably ever. Probably harder to get than a Star Fox 2 beta copy, because they actually do sell those on eBay. Man, I'm rolling in money now. I've made myself feel better. Awesome.
Yeah.
Next question.
King Me 2 writes, have you gone to a FurCon? And if so, which one?
As of yet, no, I have not. I have been to one local fur meet now that I live up in Washington, where there are actually furries around, but no furry conventions for me. I'm thinking about going to one at some point, just to see what it's like. Although I can't say that I'll probably like it very much because I'm not a party person. I don't like to just hang out, as they would say. I like to get things done and do things productive. So I guess I'd browse around for a few hours and then leave. And there's quite a few furry conventions around in Washington and California, Northern California. So I might try one of those one weekend sometime just to check it out. But no, I haven't. And there were when I was living back in Louisiana, there were no furry related things of any kind. The closest thing would have been in Texas, most likely. So yeah, I've never been to one. What about you, Nick?
Same. I haven't had a chance to. I was planning on attending Halloween. That's Halloween.
Right.
In October, actually in Vancouver here. But the Best Western, which actually less than a 20-minute drive for me, refused accommodation. So I'm not quite sure why, but it never happened, so...
You couldn't just go to the show without actually paying for a room?
I guess not. They canceled the whole event.
Oh, yeah, they did cancel it. I believe the year before that, Eggman of the KLA did go to that exact one. So I guess you would have seen him if it hadn't gotten canceled. Oh, well. Maybe next time. Alright, the next question is, well, what do you know? It's from King Knee 2 again. So what formats are you accepting for signatures for the Krystal in Super Smash Bros. 4 project? Is GIF okay? Now, any format that is high resolution and I can read your name is fine, but right now I'm not accepting signatures for a Krystal in Smash 4 project. I am currently working on that project and finding out what I have to do and making the website to go with it, but until that's ready, please don't send me anything because I don't even know what I want yet, and it may not have any signatures at all for this next campaign. Maybe something a little more high-tech. So I'll keep you posted.
Okay, next question. Alan writes, are you accepting Star Fox fanfictions? I'm not sure as to what your policy is for that.
Okay, the Krystal Archive does not currently host fanfiction. We only link to it, and that's almost always on fanfiction.net, although we're not opposed to linking to fanfiction on DeviantArt. However, every fan fiction must be reviewed either by me or someone who I have approved as a fan fiction reviewer. And both of my fan fiction reviewers are either missing in action or very so busy they can't eat or sleep. So there's probably not going to be any new fan fictions for a while. Sorry. I believe he did send a fan fiction, which I put on my list of things, of fan fictions to give to my reviewer whenever they come back. Yeah, so sorry about that, guys. Oh, and we missed one more question from King Knee. There's 3 of them in a row, looks like.
Ooh. Okay.
Yes.
Well.
So he says, King Knees writes again, I would like to volunteer to be a moderator for when your forums go up. Please and thank you. As I said on the podcast, the forum idea is just an idea for now, and I'm not taking applications yet, if ever, but thanks for your support. So, yeah, the Krystal Forum is very high in the air right now. Although it sounds like a great idea, I just don't know about the time or software requirements necessary to get that up and running. So, for the time being, there's no Krystal Forum. Just join Star Fox Online if you have the urge to talk about Star Fox and Krystal. They'd love for new members. I think we've got our software problem mostly fixed, and as I said, we're going to be moving hosts again soon, and that will take care of pretty much all of our host problems. So, No Crystal Forum yet. Hey, Nick, if we had a Crystal Forum for the Crystal Archive, would you join?
Absolutely. I'd be one of the first, I can guarantee it.
One of the first?
Yeah.
Exclusive access?
Indeed.
Private
I might even
beta?
volunteer myself as a moderator, who knows?
Awesome. Well, it's good to have your support.
And I try. So yeah,
Alright.
I've been a listener for a long time, so do what you can, right?
Right, exactly.
Alright. Okay, next question. Foxfire19 writes, "Hey, Mr. Krystal. Wink wink. It's me, Foxfire19. I don't know if somebody already told you, but there are 3 crystal stickers. One for each game she is in. I believe he's referring to in Brawl.
Right.
I have the adventure sticker, and my friend has the other 2. For some reason, the adventure sticker powers up electricity for Fox, Falco, and Wolf. What electric attacks do they have anyway? Oh, and I tried the action replay codes. I successfully transported myself to the Krazoa Palace as Krystal, but I couldn't leave. So then I tried during the cutscene. I think it started to work, but then my game crashed. I retired it for a couple days, after a couple times, but I still get the same result. I won't give it up though."
Right, so thanks for the info and good luck with the crystal codes. So, yes, there are 3, not 2, but 3 crystal stickers in Brawl. I have 2 now, as opposed to 0 last podcast, and I'll probably get the next one before the next podcast. And anyway, whenever I get those stickers, I'll stick them up on the site with as good resolution as I can possibly get. And as soon as I get all the Star Fox related material, I'll be having this big Brawl-based information overload for Star Fox Online. Just give you everything Star Fox related in the game on its page. But in the meantime, he's referring to the code that turns Fox into Krystal, and very few people have had any success with the code getting it to work. But and I don't have my GameCube with me, so I can't actually test it myself. But perhaps later, in the month of vacation I get, like pure vacation, that I don't take summer classes, and I go back home, I might be able to give it a try. Although I won't be able to record video, I will be able to see what is actually required for the code to work and get it all working. So hopefully we'll get that up, and we'll get some very, very interesting videos soon.
He does bring up a good question, though.
What's that?
What kind of electric attacks would they have?
Oh,
maybe
yes.
he's referring to either the B attack or the B down, but that is actually a good point to bring up.
Well, I imagine the shield is probably the most electric attack related thing. I mean, I'm not sure how they classify electric versus other types of moves in Brawl, and I haven't actually used any of my stickers, so I don't know. I really don't know anything about it. But we can certainly say that Krystal is electrifying, so I guess that's why. But okay, next question. Chris writes, "It's Chris. Please tell me that the species change in this April Fool's joke, 'cause you did release it on the first day of April, when it was April Fool's Day. So just tell me, and everyone, that this is just one big joke, and if not, has Nintendo gone completely mad? I mean, you can't just change the species of an animal in a series. It's just like saying Luigi had been good as a human, but I think it would be better to change him into a frog because he's green, and it's just madness if it's true." And yep, it was a joke. It was a very good joke, and one that came to me in the last minute because I knew I had the April Fool's joke and I couldn't think of anything, and that was the best thing I could think. Actually, for a couple days before April Fool's, the joke was going to be that since I had recently posted about the rights of Krystal, like Krystal's rights being owned by Nintendo officially, I was going to say that I had contacted Nintendo and paid them $5,000 for all rights to Krystal. And I was going to allow them free use of her in future games, but I would retain actual rights.
Not bad, not bad.
I don't think I could have pulled that one off quite as easily. And I certainly wouldn't have had a picture to go with it. Okay, I guess I could have photoshopped with my my arm around Miyamoto, like we're pals or something.
I can see that, actually.
Kind of like the Stephen Colbert with the, you know how he does that picture where it's just him smiling and pointing at somebody, and then he just replaces it with whoever, the Pope or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next question.
Okay, Mr. A. Munster. I'm familiar with him. He's in many of the podcasts, actually.
He writes an email every single episode.
Every single episode?
Since the beginning.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Alright, well, this time he writes, just wanted to check your new email address and to say, good work with the podcast.
Yes, he is always upbeat and encouraging about our podcasts. Well, Mr. Munster, as you probably know by now, yes, my new address at mrkrystal@gmail.com works just fine, and thanks for the compliment. For those of you who didn't listen to episode 17, I recently changed my email address, effective email address for the Krystal Archive, to go along with my new persona as Mr. Krystal. Still me, still the same guy running the Krystal Archive, but I've got a new alias and a new email address, so don't forget it. Also, a new URL for the website. But hopefully that all works to make things easier for you guys in the end. You like the new address, or?
It's definitely less confusing, that's for sure. Like, I know if I were a new viewer, yeah, it's just because I've seen your other sites, and although they're technically together, there's no direct link between them, so yeah, some mild confusion perhaps.
Yeah, there is no link between them officially. I've done, in the last couple of weeks, as I said, I actually did remove all references I could find to it, and I haven't checked recently on Google, but Google should be reducing the amount of links that tie me to my old site, and go to the new site soon, hopefully. We'll see. Alright, our next question, or letter, is from Mr. Ryan. Ryan writes, the website has the most media I've ever seen, and yet I can see you're very dedicated to Krystal. Your connections with Nintendo must be close, eh? Just to make conversation, what do you believe Star Fox's next move will be? And how is anyone sure that they really had a child and that was the true ending? He's referring to Marcus and Fox and Krystal getting married in one of the endings of Star Fox Command. Okay, let's see. I have quite a long response to this one. No, I don't have any special connections that I didn't create myself. Here's the secrets to how to create a website with so much information and with as much information as I, and just a site like mine. Number 1, patience. New stuff doesn't come along every day, so you gotta be continually on the lookout for new stuff and update it as much as possible. Number 2, don't burn bridges. With the number of different kinds of people out there that like Krystal, you're bound to run into people who you don't agree with. Always be nice and courteous, even if you don't want to. Try to stand up for all sides, not just your own. Number 3, think outside the box. Sometimes there's completely new ways of finding information or creating new topics. Be on the lookout for these opportunities. And number 4, a repetitive personality helps. When you make a website about such a relatively small focus, it can be easy to get bored quickly. Find new and better ways of doing the tedious things. So I've implemented all these things. I have a repetitive personality. I can do the same thing over and over and over again with out getting too bored. Thinking outside the box refers to the way I found, the way I was able to contact Estelle Ellis, the voice of Krystal in Adventures. I found her on Facebook. Don't burn bridges. I don't ever speak mean to people. I usually don't think mean of people, but I don't ever speak mean to people, except on YouTube, because they're just really mean there. Sometimes I just kind of be sarcastic back. But it's YouTube. What are you going to do? And finally, patience. Yes, I've been at it for 2 or 3 years. That's a long time, and over time, things come up. People email you and say, hey, I have this new information. Would you like to use it? And you say, sure, and take it and use it as best you can. And over time, it just builds and builds. Now, as for Star Fox, I believe that they will make the next game a Wii game, and it will have little, if anything, to do with command endings. I think people tend to favor the married ending for Krystal and Fox because they want those two together, and because it would make the first Nintendo couple to marry, at least I know of. Nick?
Yeah, I can agree with that, absolutely. Back to what I said before, it is definitely the preferred ending. Now, even if they do choose to do it, it might necessarily lead to the ending of the series, or at least their participation in the series.
Right.
But, like you keep saying, they're going to keep going as long as they make a profit off of it, and, I'll be looking forward to it, regardless of what ending they choose, if at all. Right.
And I think there's something appealing about having Fox and Krystal marry itself, and it's called on forum. It's called shipping, I believe, where you just these two characters should get together because they're so good together, or whatever. Like Naruto and Sakura, or whoever, all these different series. Oh, they're shippers. But actually, it's pretty official. They did get married in one alternate reality, so I wouldn't say that it's technically shipping anymore. And let me give a shout out to Ayayam. I'm sorry, I'm going to pronounce your name wrong. Ayama-chan, who is constantly for the Panther and Krystal pairing. You're laughing.
Yeah.
See, you're burning your bridges. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Now, see, of course, I favor Fox and Krystal being together because I think that... Well, I don't think. I know that they were made for each other. Literally, they were made for each other, okay? It's face facts, right? But you know what? If Nintendo decides to not do it that way, or if she stays forever single, that's okay too. I prefer to stay with the official ending than with some fantasy of my own. So, I want what's best for Krystal. How about that?
Sounds good.
So, you gotta, but people will always want to think something different, and you can't let that bother you. You just have to kind of try and be peaceful towards both sides if you want to have a website like that. All right, our last question.
Before you go on, I do believe Ryan actually emailed you back.
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Well, you want to read that response?
Okay, well, he responded with this. Well, I must say that you are a friendly person, and a lot of people are jerks. But anyway, I have some close connections with Nintendo, and I'm digging around for some info with Nintendo themselves, and thought that once I get an answer from the idea, I'll let you in on it, okay? Oh, thanks for the videos from the games. They inspired me to get both Star Fox Adventures and Star Fox Assault from GameSpot. I literally spent weeks looking for the two games in mint condition, and I finally got them. And I have to say, Star Fox Adventures is one of the best games I've played in a few years.
Is the best game I've ever played in a few years.
Yes.
But he said games. Oh, well.
Again, trying to...
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, so, and I didn't list these, but Ryan and I went back and forth with our conversations for quite a while after that, talking about various specific topics of interest, but I just thought I'd share those two things with the rest of the audience. All right, last question.
Okay. Lydia writes, "First of all, I just love the Krystal Archive. I have loved Krystal ever since Adventures, and this site just makes it better. Anyway, I didn't know who else to ask for this, but I want to make fan films of Krystal. But how do I get the clips and put them in Windows Movie Maker? I've tried to download them from your site, but they don't let me watch the clips on QuickTime or something. Can you help me, if you know?"
Yes. A long time ago, I posted, when I was doing an update, I posted videos, large, high-resolution videos, specifically designed for use in fan films. They include video that is not even available on any other part of the site, but they have no sound and they're quite boring to watch. But they're the perfect source of video for fan films, and I also include on that page a tutorial on how to use them, and including how to convert them to a more usable format. And we've answered this question several times on the podcast and on the site, but that page is always there. It's crystalarchive.com/fanfilms/video editing, one word, and that will take you to a page with the files and how to use them. You ever gonna make a fan film, Nick?
I started one.
Really?
Actually, I believe I messaged you on the KLA about it. All those
You
months
did?
ago. Yes. I did start one. I believe I got about 4 minutes worth of edited footage, and I started syncing it to the music, but I just lost interest. Eventually, I will finish it. I'm just, putting it off.
Do you mind telling us what the song is or the theme of it is?
Well, as long as
Or
no
do you
one
wanna
takes
keep it
my
secret?
idea. Well, the song I chose actually was.
You don't have to tell us the song if that's crucial to your idea.
No, I don't mind sharing.
Okay.
Okay, well, the song I did choose actually was Brackish by the metal band Kitty.
Not
Indeed,
familiar with that one.
a strange selection, but in my opinion, at least, it's very suiting. And when I finally get it up, I think you might agree.
Okay. Well, I'll be looking forward to that. I've only done films for Krystal-related things, and with the exception of that one Star Fox video montage, my crowning glory at this point, and soon to be replaced with Star Fox montage number 2, already in production. So there's a bit of exclusive news for you guys. I've got about 6 segments done. I've got to do about 18 more, and most of them require me to record new video. So that's why it's taking so long. Is because I made the clips of the videos I had already, and then I have to do for the other segments. I have to record new video to get those working. So hopefully that won't take too long.
Actually, that brings up one personal question I was meaning to ask you.
Okay.
What do you use to capture video onto your computer?
Why, I use a very special component called... Let me just pick it up real quick. Sorry for the microphone sounds, I'm moving. It is called a ADS Tech Pyro AV Link. It is a little box that has all kinds of inputs and outputs on it and a little power button. And what it does is it can take input from send input and output from component, composite, and S video, and of course full stereo sound. It's used for video conversion, and I've found it very helpful for getting high resolution video from my GameCube. Unfortunately, like all consumer level products, it only records in interlaced video, so it is by definition exactly half the quality of the actual game, which really bugs me when I'm trying to edit it and it just doesn't work. So I'm glad you brought this up, because I've been researching. I researched it since the last time, and last time I mentioned something about having a donation button on the site, and I said what I could buy with it. And I could buy this $3,000 capture card that could let me record progressive scan video. After that, I looked it up again because I figured the internet might have changed since then. And lo and behold, someone has indeed made a semi-consumer level progressive scan capture card. It is $350, and it's called Blackmagic Pro, or something like that. It's made by Blackmagic, and it's Blackmagic Intensity Pro, and it records HD video from analog sources and HD sources. The only drawback besides the $300 price tag is I will have to buy a new computer to use it. It is not an external device. It is a card you install on your computer. So that one is a bit beyond the horizon still. But for you guys, if you want to buy what I have, the ADS Text Pyro AV Link, you can get it for a measly $150 or so, and it comes with, I believe, the Windows version of Adobe Premiere Elements, which is plenty to use this device for. It records in through a FireWire port, so make sure you have one of those too.
You know, you are not going to believe this, but I'm holding in my hands a Pyro AV Link.
So you got the same thing I got.
Exact same model by ADS.
Well, I don't know if it's the same model because mine's kind of rounded. The newer ones are kind of squared off. Is yours rounded?
Somewhat. Let me just try to find a number here.
No, I don't see a number here. Oh.
FCC or part number?
FCC.
LL5-API-550.
Yeah, that's exactly the one I have. How about that? Well, they're pretty handy, aren't they?
Absolutely.
They're great because you don't have to install cards to use them. They're just a little box that you set beside your computer. And I wish they would do that for the Blackmagic one, but it makes me wonder if it's possible to do that. I don't know if FireWire is fast enough. Maybe the FireWire 800 or something, but as far as I know, they don't make a consumer level set-top device to do it. So maybe in the future.
Hopefully.
So,
if anything, it's a good excuse to pick up one of those fancy new Mac Pros. Who can say?
Well, yeah, I could work with a Mac Pro. I guess I could. I need a good excuse. I guess I could get it as a good excuse to, but I should get a Windows machine because in game development, almost none of the tools that they'll let me use at DigiPen are Mac-based. So I have to develop on Windows, which kind of is annoying. So I spend most of my time at the school since I don't want to have to just restart my Mac every time. Oh well. So maybe when I get a Windows machine, I'll buy one. So that's a couple years away, or a year away, or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, we can hope.
Once, if I ever get that Blackmagic card, I'll re-record all the cutscenes, and they will be double quality. And the bad thing is, you may not even notice the difference, but I will, I guess. Of course, the better your source material, the better your output material is going to look. So, who knows? I haven't had a chance to try it. Anyway, so that's all the questions we have for this episode. If I may, I'd like to say briefly that yes, I am working on the Krystal in Smash 4 project as I promised. Right now I'm stalled because I have classwork and I'm waiting for some art assets from a certain artist who's agreed to help me with making a good title bar thing for the website. So once I get that, I'll continue development on the site and figure out exactly what we have to do to get our voices heard and get Krystal in Smash 4. Anything you'd like to say, Nick, before we get out of here?
Well, there's one thing I would like to bring up. Pretty much throughout the podcast, we've been making all these references to the site we built and all the different endings. Just again, for anybody who's not familiar, we have a full script of the entire game from start to finish. Just check it out on Mr. Krystal's website. Just should be linked directly under articles for SFC, all the words.
So Star Fox command, all the words, is the entire script of Star Fox Command. And yes, it is a subdomain of the Crystal Archive now. New address.
Plus we have our, it's still a work in progress, I believe, but our random quote feature. I'm still liking that.
Yeah, it is a marvel of JavaScript technology, let me tell you. Unless we want to add new quotes to it, it's done. I think we got all the quotes we wanted in there. A lot of them are really good, and especially Falco's. Slippy's getting married? Like to a girl? Ha ha ha! Man, I'm hilarious.
Yeah. And my favorite still remains, it's not necessarily from the scripted work, but it's in-game when you're playing as a wolf, tracking down one of the many missiles that are going after the Great Fox. To quote it exactly, it's, "Hey missile, yeah you suck."
Yes.
Yeah, Wolf's always a lot of fun.
Alright, well, that takes care of Crystal Archive Podcast episode 18, recorded on Friday, May 9th, 2008, at about 9 o'clock at night. So, with that, I'll bid you adieu. I'm Mr. Krystal.
And I'm Nick Zimich.
And we'll see you next time.
Alright, take care, guys.